from the studios of the Department of Communication in Phillipsburg. Welcome to Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Silveria Jacobs.
Welcome to Prime Minister Talks. I am Silveria Jacobs, Prime Minister of St. Martin, and this program has been instituted to bring information to the public. And today's guest is one of our dynamic young St. Martiners, Miss Makisha Brooks. She is the director of the St. Martin Development Fund. Makisha, if I may, welcome to Prime Minister Talks. You're quite a frequent visitor, I must say, to the office, but this is the first time as my guest. So welcome to Prime Minister Talks. It's my pleasure to have you here. And I would like you to start by telling the people, who is Makisha Brooks?
Well, firstly, Prime Minister, thank you for having me. Indeed, SMDF does have the privilege to report to your office and the Council of Ministers very frequently, and we appreciate that. But it's also a pleasure to be here for the first time.
Yes.
So to introduce myself, my name is Makisha Brooks. I'm the Managing Director of the St. Martin Development Fund. I've been in this role for just about 2 years. I started in January of 2020. So it's been a pleasure to hold this position in the organization and also to lead the work that we do.
Well, I think people need to understand how you got there because I'd like to know also for them, you know, you might have some young people out there, but she looks pretty young for that position, right? What is your educational background? What did you do once you came back to St. Martin? A little bit about that.
Yes. So I am homegrown and raised. So I went to elementary school in St. Martin. I went to MAC. And then I continued on to St. Dominic High School. Once I completed my time at St. Dominic, I went on to Florida A&M University. FAMU, Tallahassee, Florida. Fortunately with study financing. And then when I finished my degree in political science, I continued straight on to get my master's in international development from American University in Washington, D.C.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice.
And then when I finished my master's, actually a little bit before I finished, I saw some vacancies in government. And I was a little bit undecided about what my next steps would be. Would I stay in school, stay in the US, move to Europe? And then one day a voice just said, maybe St. Martin's where you need to be right now.
Wow.
So I applied and I actually got a position as a policy advisor within economic affairs.
Oh.
Yes.
That's where you started.
That's where I started.
Nice.
So I was at TEAT for about 3 years. It was a great time. I worked a lot on economic policy, investment programming, SME policy. So it was great. And then in 2017, unfortunately, I said goodbye to the civil service and then transitioned over to SMDF.
Nice, nice. So you didn't start out as managing director. You worked directly under Mr. Franca.
Correct.
I must say, as director of SMDF, Mr. Franca spoke very highly of you. And when it came time that he was leaving, he was like, I have some, she's excellent. She can do it. Since you've taken over the helm of SMDF, what have been some of your responsibilities? We know that we subsidize SMDF. Tell us a little bit about how much that is, what you're able to do with it, and then how you're able to get other funds.
Yeah. So fortunately, I'm following in Mr. Keith Franca's footsteps, very large ones, but I'm very grateful for him. When I started as program and development manager, I focused on helping the local organizations that we offer subsidy through, much using the funds from the government of St. Martin. Since SMDF was started, the government has been consistent in its commitment, which we're really appreciative of. The subsidy has been a little bit under $2 million. And I would say the vast majority of that is directed to local NGOs. And then aside from that, we're now focusing our activities on acquiring funds outside of government.
I want you to pause a minute there because when people hear the funds go to local NGOs, those who are NGOs would know what I mean. But for the average St. Martiner, what does that mean? So government gives over $2 million, 3 million plus guilders to the SMDF, broken down over 12 months or over 4 quarters.
4 quarters, correct.
4 quarters divided in 4 for you to be able to subsidize basically non-governmental organizations to carry out works in the community. And maybe you could name 1 or 2 so we can understand, they can understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. So a lot of times within our community, we have a lot of non-governmental organizations doing exceptional work in the area, for example, of youth development. We have, for example, No Kidding with Our Kids Foundation. A lot of people know it as ASA. We subsidize a lot of their programming activities. So essentially, the government gives money to SMDF. We do the accountability, the financial management of that, and then we extend those funds to organizations. They report to us, and then I report to you, which brings me here so often.
Yes, indeed. And I think that's really good. With us, we also subsidize entities, but with you, they would have to reapply on a yearly basis.
Correct.
Right?
So NGOs who want like a larger subsidy over a whole year, they would apply to SMDF, and my colleagues review their applications. And then we decide, okay, this is how much we can extend to this organization, and this is how they're going to be reporting, and we're going to do monitoring, visiting them from time to time. So we have a lot of great organizations. Also, for example, Bishop Ellis Foundation, which is a food pantry, Helping Hands Foundation, K1 Britannia. So a lot of organizations that you see in the community, we're supporting them behind the scenes.
That is excellent. I'm very happy that this information is being shared with the people of St. Martin, because you hear so often government is doing nothing. And having a funding agent like this that we are funding, carrying out that subsidizing, is government indirectly ensuring that these things can happen. So I'm happy that you're able to share that. And you mentioned other funding.
Yes. So in the last few years, we've also looked at other entities, so whether that's locally or internationally. So for example, locally, there are exceptional corporate supporters that we have, such as the Windward Islands Bank, who have committed to multiple years with SMDF. And then additionally, we work with international organizations. The Netherlands Red Cross, we've been partnering with for a couple of years. Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. A lot of people see their ships in the port. They also made a commitment to St. Martin, and they used our offices to ensure that their vision came to life in a responsible and transparent way.
Great. I remember in Franca's days that there were like policy priorities, and we would discuss those between government and SMDF. What are the current policy priorities of SMDF?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, because it helps us to also explain to local NGOs what we're focusing on before they submit their applications. So the first one is youth development, so programs targeting youth under 25. The second one is social care to vulnerable groups, so in their foster homes, substance abuse programs.
Elderly.
Elderly is our third one. That's where organizations like Helping Hands come in.
Okay.
There you go, PMC. You're still on top of things. You know what's going on. And then we also have poverty alleviation. So there we have a lot of food programs. And then the last two are gender support and community development.
Great. I think that's a perfect place for us to segue. I'm hoping that the people of St. Martin are really listening. The St. Martin Development Fund has a website. You can go to that website. They have a Facebook page. They are all over social media. And when we come back, we'll be talking about opportunities out there that have been made possible because of collaboration between our Ministry of Finance and the SMDF. Come back for more information.
Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Makisha Jacobs.
Last year, we saw over 1,200 requests for the Workforce Development Program, with hundreds completing the courses. This year, I'm honored to continue this partnership with SMDF to continue the Workforce Development Program, and I'm urging and requesting persons to sign up for this program. It showed us that there was a hunger for knowledge and appetite for learning on the island, and we will continue to do this for the next 2 years.
Do you know there is such a thing as teen dating violence? Seriously, there is. When your boyfriend or girlfriend is controlling your every move, trolling you online, checking your social media page, recording you without your permission, or forcing you to do things you don't want to do, this is abuse. If you find yourself in this situation, please talk to someone you can trust. Your parents, school counselor, or the police.
This message has been brought to you by Women's Desk.
Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Makisha Jacobs.
Welcome back to Prime Minister Talks. We're in a conversation with our young leader. I want to say young because we hear so much nowadays about the millennials, etc. But thank God that we had a millennial in leadership at SMDF and a millennial in the Ministry of Finance in leadership who knew each other, I guess, from school days as well or studying. But in any case, persons with similar mindsets and saw an opportunity in the slow time after the lockdown to introduce the Coursera courses. And now we've segued into something even more exciting. So I'd like you to tell us a little bit about how that came about and how, together with government, SMDF is bringing education to the masses.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, the Minister of Finance and I were having some conversations last year about how to use the pandemic as a potential for growth for the people of St. Martin. And we came across an e-learning opportunity via Coursera. So we started a pilot program last October, and the feedback and the participation were overwhelming. Like, we were truly surprised at how many people registered and actually continued and completed courses. So much so that this year, again, we're trying to bring it back, and we are launching the program LearnSmart. So this is e-learning for the people of St. Martin.
E-learning. So I remember during the pandemic as well, encouraging people, okay, you're out of a job, think about, envision what you always wanted to do and use this time down to prepare for it, And so I was so happy to see these courses available. It was free for the people of St. Martin. They could register online, do the course, do the test, do the assignments, etc. And not only did they register, they actually completed. A majority completed the courses.
Yes.
So now tell us about the launch of LearnSmart.
So LearnSmart officially we launched last week, Monday. And so far we have over 300 people who have applied, and we've let the first cohort of 150 persons into the program, which is really, really exciting. And we're able to monitor what they've been doing, and we can see people actually, completing courses already. So that is super exciting for us. The program is going to run for 2 years. So there's a long opportunity for persons to continue down this trajectory of learning. Again, it's e-learning, so it's all digital. That's also something that was new for a lot of persons, to not have to physically go to a classroom. Correct.
Yes.
And changing that dynamic. So it's all online. You can learn at your own pace as long as you continue and remain committed.
Maybe you can share, I know I've seen all of the nice advertisements, or Minister Artwell Arian. I mean, I always get on him about his speaking, but his ads lately for LearnSmart have been excellent. I mean, he's really grown a lot and it's so innovative. I'm always excited to see what he has up his sleeve next. But I think this is a great opportunity for you to tell the people how they can get the information. Registration is still possible?
Registration is still open.
So
registration is available online at the website smdf.sx/LearnSmart. There's an application process. It requires the applicant to submit their ID, a proof of residency document on St. Martin. And then it also asks for a brief motivation, because we want to know why you want to be part of this program, to ensure that we're making space for the persons who are going to be committed.
Right.
And then once your application is submitted, in about 2 weeks, we get back to you with the answer.
So the program advertises specific modules that are available right now, or is it just wide open? And I remember, I think it was in press briefing last week, I gave an overview of the different universities also that were connected to the courses now. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so first thing, where Coursera is concerned, they have partnerships with some of the most prestigious institutions, globally. So you will be accessing courses from institutions like Yale, Harvard, University of Pennsylvania. And again, these people are experts. You have expert professors providing the course material and leading the courses.
Nice.
Now, where the modules are concerned, we queried a lot of people. So we surveyed some of the persons who were in the programs before. Mm-hmm. We also asked, for example, the Department of Labor, what were persons interested in? And from there, we created the first module. So those are areas like entrepreneurship. We see a lot of people wanting to start their own businesses, but they don't know things like Excel and spreadsheets, things that scare a lot of people in entrepreneurial ventures. Mm-hmm. Other areas are, for example, creative industries. So graphic design, those types of things, music production.
Nice.
So those are the main areas, but we also have a back office and we have Coursera supporting us. So if there are areas of learning that, an applicant or participant doesn't see, we can always, assist them
to find what they want.
Correct, because
So it's
Coursera's
like
catalog
it's
is
open.
so huge. And
Okay.
we don't want people to be overwhelmed searching the catalog, so we're also here to help them find the best courses that, fit what they're looking for.
Well, I would really encourage the people of St. Martin to, if you ended up in a job or you ended up dropping out of school for whatever reason, whether it's high school or college, I've seen some of the modules. They're even giving you like a high school, post-high school upgrade.
Yeah.
You might just want to tighten up on your writing skills. You're in a job and it's an area of growth, and the civil servants also have the opportunity. I know in our discussion, Maki, you told us that the civil servants should use their Gov email.
Yes.
So please use your Gov email, register. The courses are free for you. We're paying for them.
Exactly. Thank you.
Not free. Free. It's being paid for. It's how we as a government are empowering the people. We have funded this completely via the St. Martin Development Fund, and I think that's what makes it so exciting. Appreciated, though, gooi met de pet naar, as they say in Dutch. It's an opportunity, and I think that is part of my vision for St. Martin, that we afford the people of St. Martin opportunities to grow.
Agreed. And I think you just gave an excellent example. Yeah. You gave an excellent example of wanting to grow professionally. We had someone who was in the previous program and they studied in Dutch. So they went to school locally, but they went to university in the Netherlands, and their entire learning at the university level was in Dutch. So they actually wanted to focus on professional writing in English. And when they reapplied to the program this time, they were really very honest about how much their English writing improved.
Oh, wow.
So this is someone with a master's degree.
A Dutch master's degree.
Dutch master's degree, exactly. And locally working on St. Martin, who's still using this as an opportunity to, improve themselves professionally.
I think that indeed reflecting, and you can only know where you need to grow. We do have a performance cycle here in government, but even in your everyday life, whether you're a civil servant or not, I encourage you to seek the areas in which you can grow to improve your own life and join, register, find the courses that will help you to do that. And that will help St. Martin to be a better place, because as Maki mentioned, entrepreneurship, we were seeing with the credits courses, with the credits possibility to get loans and grants to start your business. The biggest challenge we had was knowledge on how to do so. You have a skill, you have a talent, but business was the problem. So we'll be right back. This is Prime Minister Talks, and we'll be rounding off the discussion with Ms. Brooks with some great remarks.
Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Makisha Jacobs.
SMDF's continuation of the Workforce Development Program will take the form of LearnSmart. LearnSmart is a 2-year initiative where we'll be providing participants with access to e-learning opportunities via world-renowned platform Coursera. Coursera has a wealth of experience in developing and releasing course content targeting its learners' needs. Learners who earn certificates via LearnSmart can share these certificates on their resumes, which will serve as valuable resume boosters, but also on social media platforms such as LinkedIn. So, on behalf of the government of St. Martin, SMDF is honored to be able to provide innovative opportunities for the residents of St. Martin to learn smart in collaboration with Coursera.
Community Development, Family and Humanitarian Affairs under the Ministry of VSA and the St. Martin AIDS Foundation proudly presents Let's Talk About It, HIV Information Session, featuring 2 episodes. Tune in on World AIDS Day, Wednesday, December 1st and December 15th at 8 p.m. to St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 and 5:30 p.m. on cable TV, the government Facebook page, and the CDFHA Facebook page. Let's Talk About It, HIV Information Session. Don't miss it.
Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Makisha Jacobs.
Welcome back to the final segment for today for Prime Minister Talks. It's been such a riveting conversation with Makisha. I don't want it to end, but unfortunately, we're in the last segment. Makisha, you are a young leader on St. Martin. You're leading an organization that is having an impact. What can you say motivates you on a daily basis, or how do you feel within that function?
Yeah, oh, that's a heavy question. It is personally an honor, to serve in this function, because I do believe that SMDF plays a significant role in the community of St. Martin. So it's an honor to have been appointed to this. When I found out that I was getting the position of managing director, I was overwhelmed with how excited I was. When it comes to motivation, I think it's partially self. So, finding that motivation within myself to get up each day and go in committed every day, but also seeing the impact of the work that we do. That is also so extremely rewarding. And sometimes those are, the actual tangibles. So we have the Community Spaces Project,
where we didn't get to that.
where we, develop 6 small pocket parks. They have playgrounds and exercise equipment. When I drive by those spaces,
and you see kids playing,
it just makes me so happy.
Yes.
When the first one opened up in Cul-de-sac behind the Amelia Wilson football field, and I saw kids playing on it, I stopped my car, I turned around, and I went back because it had just opened, and it just felt so good to see the work come to life.
And what are some of the other communities?
So we also have spaces in Middle Region next to Sister Marie Laurent School. In Belvedere, right next to the basketball court, Sucker Garden at Melford Hazel Sports Complex, Cahill at Rowley, so across from the entrance to the ER. We also have a space there. We're finalizing one in Simpson Bay as well, and in Ebenezer.
Wow, so that's impactful.
Yes.
That's very, very impactful. Yeah. And I think what I want to ask the people is to take care of it. It's something that, investment funds were spent on this to enhance activities for our youth. And I would really like us to take good care of it, because I've heard some stories about vandalism already. And that hurts me, because you have to go through so much and then we end up destroying the same things.
Correct.
We are doing that. So
and I think that's it. We're supposed to live as a community, and communities take care of each other. In the people, but also the tangibles.
Yes.
So it's really important that we know that when we put in the effort to bring it to life, that our community will keep it going.
Right. It's for me part of respect. It's the same thing that I'm talking about with tossing things outside the window. It's like, we are doing this, not because you see people being hired to cut the grass. That don't mean you have to put garbage for them to pick up as well. So it's all about socialization and realizing our own unique responsibilities. As a young leader, what would you have as a message, a final message for others like you out there, persons who maybe are not as motivated, don't see opportunities? I really want you as a young person, you're young for me.
We won't say how young.
That's okay. But they can look at you and see that you're young. No, but that you can make a difference at a young age, and you're in a leadership position. And I really want you to reach out there through the lens of that camera to young boys and girls, to even persons of my age, in the middle age, who may be saying, but I've already done this for 30 years and I don't know how I can change.
Fortunately in our office, we're all roughly the same age. So SMDF's office, when you walk through the door, we're all very similar in age. So aside from myself, my colleagues, Janai Marlin, Melanie Schwazi, and Karen Vicente, we all are in that millennial group. But
and also, all women.
And all women.
Wow.
But we also help to motivate each other. And we've all been able to carve our own paths on St. Martin. And I think that's very important to reiterate, that we won't all have the same journey, but we can all make impactful change, and we can design, incredible lives for ourselves on St. Martin. So don't feel dissuaded, and also don't compare yourself. I think a lot of times we look and we say, oh, but look at that person, they've already done this, they already have that. But, all of our paths are individual. So I think if we focus on what we're doing in our own lives, how we're creating opportunity for ourselves, I think it's possible. And even on St. Martin, it's very much possible to be successful at any age.
I totally agree with you. I can concur. I think I was one of those persons that didn't even think about staying out of St. Martin, but I know there are people who have that. I'm a home girl, so this is where I feel comfortable. I can travel away, go anywhere, but after 5-6 days, I'm ready to be home. And I just really want that the people of St. Martin look for opportunities. The Coursera courses are one, but there's also, like I mentioned before, via the trust fund, the opportunity for you to start your own business or grow the business that you started. So much talent on this island, so much skill on this island. But sometimes that little extra is what you needed to be able to push. So I agree with that statement that you made about not comparing yourself to others. I want to encourage young men. I think we do a lot and we're seeing women growing, but I really want to encourage young men to start to take a stand for themselves, not be stuck in a stigma that you have to be whatever, to be cool, and then later in life you're regretting it. So learn hard, learn smart. Hey, look at that. I didn't even try that. It came out. Find a way to grow yourself. And another thing, maybe join with others who are like-minded. St. Martin is so small and I see a lot of ideas popping up that already exist. And then you have 3-4 groups of this doing the same thing. And you get so much more done if you work together. So I want to thank you, Makisha, for coming back to St. Martin. One, for starting within government, getting that experience and understanding that, moving out to the St. Martin Development Fund and growing into the leader that you are there, having a nice group around you of other females, young, dynamic women, and I encourage you to continue to motivate others and to bring that necessary assistance to our community groups who are doing the hard work on their own. And I'm going to give you the last few seconds, minutes to just close off with your final message.
Well, PM, again, thank you for having me. I think that this show is wonderful and it's a pleasure to be able to share more with you and the people of St. Martin about SMDF and what we do. In closing, I would really like to encourage everyone to join the LearnSmart program. There are amazing learning opportunities, so please go online and register. The website is smdf.sx/LearnSmart. So thank you again for the opportunity.
This has been Prime Minister Talks. I'm Makisha Jacobs. Until next time, see you soon.
3, 2,